Alright, I need to get something off my chest before we talk about any of these games. Sony should be ashamed of themselves. There is no easy way to say this. But this is the second state of play in a row where they completely ignored the PSVR2 community. No announcements, no reveals, no surprises, nothing. And that's so unacceptable, because whether you personally own a PSVR2 or not, PlayStation still sells this headset. It's still a PlayStation product. This was a PlayStation event, so if you tuned in expecting at least one VR reveal, I don't think that's a crazy thing to expect. To me, it shows a complete lack of interest, and quite frankly, a lack of respect toward people who invested in the platform. Now, if you watched this state of play purely as a PS5 player, I actually thought it was decent. Not amazing, not one of Sony's best showcases, definitely not the massive hype event some people were expecting. And I completely understand why some viewers walked away disappointed. But personally, I thought there were still some strong games here. The problem is that outside of one game in particular, I don't think Sony's first-party lineup was nearly as impressive as I expected. And we'll talk about that controversial ending later, because I know for a fact that some people are going to disagree with me. But first, let's talk about the game that absolutely stole the show. For me, Marvel's Wolverine was hands down the biggest winner of the entire event. That extended gameplay looked insane. The blood, the combat, the traversal, the animations, everything looked incredibly polished. And honestly, I think it looks better than Spider-Man 2. Maybe that's because the footage was captured on PS5 Pro. But visually, this game looks ridiculous. Now I did notice some similarities to Spider-Man when it comes to enemy behavior and enemy design, which makes sense considering it's Insomniac. But overall, this definitely exceeded my expectations, and September cannot come soon enough.
Alright, let's search the area. Give me a status update.
Perimeter stable. Holding position.
Speaking of exceeding expectations, can we talk about Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis? Because this is how you do Remake. Visually stunning, beautiful environments, great atmosphere, and Lara looks fantastic. Every time they showed a new shot, I was thinking, okay, yeah, this looks expensive. Now the bad news, February 2027. That's a long wait. But honestly, I'd rather wait for a polished game than get another rushed release. Now here's the game that has me asking a lot of questions. Phantom Blade Zero. Pre-orders begin this summer. We're getting a gameplay and story deep dive later this summer. So the obvious question becomes, is this actually launching this year? Because if it is, the window is getting very small. Personally, I think September is still possible. But if they miss this target, I could absolutely see it slipping into 2027. Especially with GTA 6, looming over the industry like a giant boss battle. Now this one is interesting. Silent Hill Townfall, because unlike most Silent Hill games, this feels completely different. And I'm not even sure how I feel about it yet. The trailer was mostly cinematic. We only got a few glimpses of gameplay, so it's hard to judge. What I will say is this, it definitely stands out. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing remains to be seen. But I need to see a lot more before I know if this game is for me. Still, September 24th is not far away, and trust me, September gets even crazier from here.
Simon, are you there? Please say something.
Ace Combat 8 launches October 2nd, with early access starting September 29th. And yes, no PSVR2 support. We've known this for a while, but every time I see Ace Combat, it still hurts. Because if there is one franchise that feels made for VR, it's Ace Combat. Now let's talk survival horror, because holy crap, Ill looks disturbing. Like genuinely disturbing. This is one of my most anticipated horror games now. The enemy designs are nightmare fuel, the visuals are incredible, and that photorealistic presentation just makes everything feel even more uncomfortable. The crazy thing is that all the ingredients are there. Creepy monsters? Check. Insane visuals? Check. Atmosphere? Also check. Potential? Through the roof. The only problem is that it's launching next year, so it's a bit of a wait. But honestly guys, this game needs VR support. If it doesn't happen officially, you already know I'm going to be looking at PC VR mods.
Die, bastard. And you're tough. Surprisingly lively for someone who just came out of a coma.
If you want to survive, you gotta hustle.
Remember when I said September was insane? Well, here's another one. Control Resonant launches September 24th. My wallet is crying, but I don't care. I will be there day one because I love Remedy. I love weird mind-bending stories. And everything they've shown so far has me completely sold.
It felt like an earthquake. But it was just a paperclip falling off a desk. The tiniest tremor before the main event.
Okay, can we now talk about Firesprite for a second? Because they finally revealed their next game. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I've been saying this for ages. It's Until Dawn 2, or at least the spiritual continuation of Until Dawn. New story, new setting, new characters, but the same formula. A group of young people having a good time, before everything goes horribly wrong. As somebody who loves these narrative horror games, I'm absolutely here for it. And honestly, this might end up being one of the most underrated announcements from the entire show. Now let's talk about the game that ended the state of play. Santa Monica's long-rumored Faye game. Or should I say, low Faye? And this is what I think some of you guys are going to disagree with me. First of all, visually it looks great. No surprises there, it's Santa Monica. They know how to make beautiful games. The character model looks fantastic. The animations look polished. Plus, I actually like the actress they cast for the role. Yes, I'm a huge Daredevil fan. But I wasn't blown away. Maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe I expected something completely different. Maybe it's the art style. Maybe it's the environments. I don't know. But what I do know is that when I compare it to Wolverine, Wolverine impressed me a lot more. And then there is the combat. After spending years playing as Kratos, it's going to be very difficult for anything to top that feeling for me. Again, maybe I'll change my mind once we see more gameplay, but based purely on this reveal, I'm not nearly as excited as I thought I'd be. Honestly, part of me wishes Cory Barlog had spent all this time working on a completely new IP. Maybe that's a hot take, maybe it's not. Either way, let me know in the comments below. Was Wolverine your game of the show? Did Santa Monica's reveal impress you more than it impressed me? And most importantly, am I overreacting about Sony completely ignoring PSVR2 for the second state of play in a row? Because right now, I genuinely think PSVR2 owners deserve answers. And yeah, that's gonna have to do it for this video guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. Subscribe for more PlayStation coverage. And I'll see you guys in the next one.